Hoffa and welcome to Rehash, where we recap the big stories of the week. And I usually sit up here. Crystal usually sits here, so we're kind of switching it up this week.
Musical chairs.
Yeah.
Welcome to Weekend Edition.
And I think I'll start.
Okay.
So it was a big week for budget hearings, and one of the biggest departments to come forward was the Guam Police Department. They're asking for $39 million. I know that sounds like a lot, but again, everyone talks about how public safety is so important. So $39 million is about $1.4 million than they were given this current fiscal year. And although the lawmakers, they commended them for keeping overtime at a minimum, which is $1 million, part of the reason why they need more money next fiscal year is because they need more officers. And I think everyone is agreeing on that, including this one woman who testified. She's from Inaraha. She testified that when she called the cops, the response time was so lengthy. And she understands because GPD has to prioritize the calls. Again, so there's a need for more officers, and GPD Chief of Police J.I. Cruz says we could have as many as 43 new officers by the next fiscal year. And so, Nick?
Yeah. Definitely a shortage of manpower and law enforcement across the board. That is the case that we saw over the Department of Corrections when former corrections officer Benjamin Urquizu said he had to step in and work at Post 6 the day of the beating of Justin Meno back in March. And so he spoke to KUAM exclusively first this week. We heard his story, just his heartwarming story, and just him in tears opening up about what he saw that day when he found Justin Meno in the Post 6 yard area. He's the officer, and in this case, who was investigated out of 4. He was the one who was terminated. His case going before the Civil Service Commission this week, and the attorney already saying that since the department's not here to show up and speak on their behalf, why don't we just throw this case out altogether? The second officer also received adverse action in this case, Lieutenant Mary Helen Lozama. She will go before the Civil Service Commission this upcoming week. She's fighting her letter of reprimand, so we'll see where it goes from there. 2 other officers that were given a suspension have yet to file anything against their adverse action, but a lot of moving parts in this, Chris. A lot.
So developments expected for that story, and also for a story I'm working on, Simon Sanchez High School. It's been ongoing for years and years, and there are actually 3 bills on the table right now that senators are discussing, which could affect the school. So the school may be facing double session this fall because of a shortage of classrooms. Some temporary classrooms that are just in really bad condition need to be condemned, torn down, or fixed. So they're discussing those bills. 2 of them were discussed over the week, and there was a kind of heated discussions between Senator Mike St. Nicholas and the board chairman, and actually many of the senators, the superintendent. And another bill goes up for discussion on Monday at 2 o'clock, and that's Senator Regine Bisco-Lee's bill, which would also appropriate more money for the much-needed repairs. And so on a lighter note, Brittany, I know you have some good news for us.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, something a little lighter. So on the digital side this week, in addition to streaming the news on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, we are now going live also on YouTube in 360. So we'll share the comment on Facebook, and you can go ahead and follow us there also to take a look inside the studio and behind the scenes. And then also for Guam Live, KUAM has been granted all access. So also stay tuned for that 360 view. We'll be able to give you another perspective if you're going to Guam Live, and if you're not, then you'll feel like you're right there with us. So stay tuned for that this weekend.
All right, definitely look forward to that. I saw one of the 360s. It was really cool. And of course, don't forget, if you have any tips for us here on the news desk, email us at reporters@kuam.com.